Hi, this is Amazing Towing. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to finance the properties that you find. So now you've got your thinking cap on. You are now thinking like an investor as opposed to an agent. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being an agent, because agents, do a lot of good, in terms of our industry because they hold the hands of the homeowners, help them through the paperwork. Okay, but the agency is designed for helping people that need to go through the process, sell their property, because 95% of the properties out there are still sold by agents. Okay, so we need agents out there. But the 5% of properties that are not sold by agents are usually bought by investors. Okay, and so why can't you be one of those investors? I've been one of those investors for the last 12, 15 years, and I've made a lot of money. Okay, and if you read the report that I initially sent to you, I've bought and sold over 400 properties. And so these 400 properties, I didn't have to use my money. In fact, when I started, I had no money. When I started with a credit line from my local newspaper of $245. I put an ad in the paper that I buy houses for $245. They gave me credit for the whole month. It was 30 days. The ad was like four lines. And I bought my first property there. I made like $5,000. And then I leveraged that over the years to where I've bought 400 properties. Now, when you get into this process, okay, you have to be able to finance the properties. I know most agents don't have a lot of money. The average agent makes $40,000 a year. And even brokers, okay, good brokers make like $50,000, $60,000. That's it, okay? That's about how much I make on one deal. And I've done a lot of deals. So how do you finance these properties? Okay, over the years, I've borrowed over $20 million that I paid back. Take the money, finance, buy the property, fix it up, sell the property, pay the money back. Okay, so financing is very crucial to this business. You have to be able to tap the money quick. Okay, and some of my ads, because people always ask me, how can you buy a house in 24 hours? My ad says cash in 24 hours. And people sometimes don't understand, how can you pay cash for a property in 24 hours? When you get as good as I'm going to show you in this process, you could buy a house in 1 hour. There have been a lot of times when I leave the house in the morning, like on a Saturday, okay, and I drive, I look about 5, 10 houses that people have called me that I set appointments to go look at their houses on a Saturday, okay? And I come back, with 3, 4 deeds in my hand, which I've paid cash for, because before I got there, I did some research on the property, okay? I have an idea what the property is. I have an idea what kind of liens that could be on it. I've talked to the owner extensively about the property, okay? And, even though I don't have pre-lien, but I'm able to pay them cash. And that's how the cash in 24 hours come through, okay? And in those in circumstances, I don't necessarily pay, the $100,000 they want right away. Because if they want my $100,000 cash, they have to be able to move out in 24 hours, which they can't. So usually I give them some money, and then we put it in escrow. And sometimes 5 days, 7 days, sometimes 30 days, depending on how fast they want to move out. Okay, the rest of the cash gets paid to them through escrow. Okay, so you have to have a relationship with partners, investors, hard money lenders, banks, saving and loan, wherever you're going to get the money. And there are lots of ways of getting the money. So you got to develop this relationship step by step over a period of time, okay, to where you know who's going to give you money within a couple of days or who's going to give you money within 30 days, okay? Now, the people that are going to give you money within a couple of days or 7 days are the ones you want to cultivate the most, because when you tell a seller who needs money right away, okay, they need money like yesterday, that you're going to buy them a property and you're going to have their cash for them on Monday and you sell them on Saturday, you better have the cash on Monday, because guess what? Excuse me. They will be gone. Somebody just gave you $50,000 equity of a check or something, because you went to look at the property is worth $200,000. They already agreed to sell it to you for $150,000, and you're scrambling. You can find $150,000. Boom, you just lost $50,000. That's why you got to line up your money so that when you make a phone call, your money is there in escrow or wherever it's going to go, wire to the owner, Okay, so you need to have those lists of people. Okay, and so people say, well, how do I develop this relationship? It's very simple. You start with one. Okay, when I first started with one of my lending sources, okay, who are now really, they're almost my partners because they've loaned me almost $9 million, which means I've made them millionaires too. Because if you look at 12% on 9 million plus, cost and stuff like that. Okay. So when I first started, I found a property and I went to him and I said, and this person, this lender I'm talking about, the paperwork is in the report. If you read your report, you will see the letter they sent to me where they gave me a line of credit of $4 million, okay? And another letter where they said, that I've borrowed money to buy almost 60 properties from them. Okay, so but when I first started with them, like in 2001, and I gave them a property that I wanted to buy, and I remember the conversation, and I said, I want to buy this property, and I want to borrow some money. And, he asked me how much is the property worth, and I think I said property was worth about $120,000. And so I was looking to borrow $120,000, and the guy says, hell no, I'm not loaning you 120. And I said, why? Well, he said, well, first of all, you should have been buying this property for like $60,000 or $70,000. And I said, really? Who is that stupid that will sell their property for $60,000, $70,000 when they know it's worth 120? And his answer to me was, yeah, Toyin, they're out there, go find them. Okay? And I thought about it, really? Are they really out there? Yeah, they are. I found 400 of them. Okay? So that relationship that I developed over the years are very crucial, okay? Because the name of the game really is finance, having the money, okay? So when people say they buy houses with no money down, the process is really simple. It's just that it's not your money, okay? And I bought a lot of houses with zero down. In fact, I bought houses where at the end of the escrow, I got a check. Yeah, I got a check for buying the houses. I bought houses where the owner actually wrote me a check and said, look, Tony, I want you to just take my house from me. I know it's got a lot of problems. I know, I owe too much on it. Okay, but I'll write you a check for the first 6 payments on the mortgage. You just take it and worry about the rest of it. Because I was there and they needed me. They needed my counseling. They needed my expertise. They needed my solutions, okay, to their problem so they can move on with their life. Housing, it's a very, very emotional thing, okay? It's one of the biggest investments that most people have to make, but also it's something that actually gives them a nightmare when they have to dispose of it if they don't know what to do with it. For example, somebody just moved, they got another job and they moved. So they moved, the house is, 2,000 miles away. They wanted to rent it out. They thought they would be renting it out. Then everything got complicated. They didn't find renters. Before they know it, they're 2 months behind. And it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So they call Toyin. Amazing Toyin gives them a solution. And I give them a solution. And those are the things I want to teach you, where and how to tap the finance, how to use all the creative opportunities. Okay, one of the differences between an agent and an investor is that, I'm an investor, I know, even though I've been a broker for a long time. Most agents do not think creatively. And this is not, I don't mean this as an insult. They're not taught to think creatively. The only thing the agent knows is that I put a property in the multiple, the buyer goes get a loan, they pay for it, and everybody goes their way. Me, I have thousands of different ways. Maybe not thousands. I have several different ways of buying a property, okay, that I don't even think about somebody getting a traditional loan when I go to buy a property, okay? And even when I sell it, if the buyer can creatively buy from me, I let them have it, okay? As long as I'm making my money, okay? And so the reason agents think different is because they've only been taught one way. They thought that, whoever wants to buy a house goes to the bank, get a loan, and then, okay? I came up through a different way in terms of buying properties. And so the creativity is what people like me bring in to the process, okay? And it allows solutions to be provided quicker. So these 5% or 10% of the properties out there that do not fit into the traditional retail agency process. So you as an agent, instead of calling the other investor, you should become the investor yourself and you should buy the property, because the owner does not care whether you bought it or you call your investor down the street. Okay, the owner wants a solution, and if you know how to provide the solution, why do you want to leave money on the table and give it to somebody else? Okay, and everything that I'm telling you is perfectly legal, it's ethical, and you are not taking advantage of anybody, because when somebody sells you their house for 60 cents on the dollar, you are providing a solution to them that is worth it for them to give you the house at 16 cents on the dollar so they can move on with their life. Okay, but then if you can't finance the property, if you don't know how to finance it, then you have a problem. Okay, so that's why you want to, line up your financial processes, line up all the creative ways you could buy the property. Okay, so that when you write up the offer, you already know where the money is going to come from, or you will be able to explain to the owner, well, we could buy it this way. I could take over your loan, I could catch up your loan, I could do, a wraparound, I could do AITD, Mr. Jones, what is your problem? Okay, I always ask the owners, what problem do you want me to solve for you as far as this house is concerned? Once they tell me that their problem, then I devise a solution. They will look at it. If it makes sense to them, fine. If it doesn't, I would gladly call them a listing agent. I mean, because even though I'm an agent, I don't have time to list anybody's property because I'm too busy trying to find something. I mean, by the time I list one property of 3 or 4 properties, and all I'm worried about is getting the listing commission, and I'm going to spend my time on it, and I'm looking forward to making $5,000. I could be out there finding a property that will make me $50,000. So that's why I don't really focus on listing. And eventually, you are not going to focus on listing, okay? And if you do want to list, you could also always give them the choice. Okay, Mr. Jones, I'll buy the property. Since you would need to sell, I'm an agent, but if you want to sell it to me, fine. But if you think the property is worth more, I could still list it for you, okay? And if you want to get other agents involved, check it out, see what they will provide, see what I'll provide, okay? And if you want to sell quickly, here's my price to buy quickly. If you want me to list it, here's the price we'll list it for. If you're willing to wait 5 months or 3 months or 2 months, okay? Because right now, you give them all the information. Right now, the average days on the market for properties in your area is 90 days. If you have 90 days, let's list it for $300,000. But if you want me to buy it right now and you need to move on, this is my price. Okay, those are the information you want to give to the owner and let them make an informed decision. Let them shop it around, talk to their lawyer, whoever they want to talk to. Because the information, the solution you're providing for them usually doesn't necessarily mean you're the only one that can provide it, but given them the facts, the chances are they will want to deal with you because you gave them the facts and they verify the facts and they see that it's true and they see that you're sincere, okay? And they do want a solution. They would rather deal with somebody who is sincere with them than trying to go out there and shop for somebody who's going to give them all this lowball information, okay? So that's it right there. So this is the second step in the process, okay? If you enjoyed it, and you are ready to get going, okay, and you want me to help you set up the whole process by taking your hand and showing you step by step, put it together to where it makes sense and you could hit the ground running and start making those 6-7 figure income, just click below, fill out the application. I will determine whether this will work for both of us, and then I will contact you. Okay, so for now, I wish you all the luck and all the huge opportunities are out there. Okay, and if you're not taking advantage of the opportunities in this business, by becoming an agent investor, basically you are not doing yourself a favor. Okay, yeah, I could say you're doing yourself a disservice by just being an agent. Okay, when you could use your skills to actually solve bigger problems for people that need you, okay, by becoming an agent investor. So this is the finance part of it, the step 2 of the 5-step program to making 6-7 figure income, okay? So if you're interested in, like I said, if you want me to help you set the whole thing up, just click below, fill out the application, and I'll contact you, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I wish you a lot of luck. This is Amazing Toyin. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you.